That is a fantastic question. Let me do my best to answer it. So there's kind of two parts to a string. There's the inner part, which is called the core, which you can't see, and then this outer part is called the wrap or the winding. The core is either like a round core or a hex core, meaning like round is like cylinder shape or like circular, and hex core is a hexagon. There is no perfect string, so they both have pros and cons. The pros of a round core is that it's more flexible, or it feels bendier under your fingers, and it changes the sound to where it's kind of fatter and has like more of a low mid response. Hex core is brighter, so like think funk rock or like playing metal and stuff might be what you want. There are typically four kinds of strings. That is determined more by the wrap or the winding and less by what's the inside of it, whether it's hex core or round core. Normal strings, like what most people think of bass strings, are going to be these round wound strings. And if you look at them, there's these little bumps here. That's because the wrap on it is like a cylinder. So when it winds, it leaves these little ridges, and you can feel those when you play. And when you move your hand on the strings, it goes whick, whick, whick. It's because your fingers are actually grabbing these little grooves. These strings typically are brighter sounding. These are called flat wounds. The winding is almost completely flattened out, so when it winds, there are not these little grooves. So it sounds smoother when you play. Think vintage sounds typically were flat wounds, like the Motown sound is flat wound strings on a P bass with foam under the strings. Very warm sounding, and you get much less finger noise. Honorable mention here are these tape wound strings. Labella makes great tape wounds. It's basically a round wound string with nylon wrapped around the outside of it. So some people view it as the best of both worlds. Less finger noise, and it's still a bright-ish string. Some of them are much closer to flats in terms of sound, but there is no perfect string. The last type of string I've heard called ground wound, which starts as a round wound string, and then they grind all of these little bumps off so that it's smooth on the outside, but the inner wrap still has these bumps. So it's a brighter string with less finger noise. Everyone's trying to make the perfect string. It's never going to happen because people like different stuff, and there should not be a one string that does it all. I hope this helps. Peace.